Let's take a look at the numbers for our starting goaltenders presented by Honda. 24-year-old Frederik Andersen from Denmark, out to a perfect 3-0 start in his NHL career. Vezina Trophy finalist Henrik Lundqvist has won his last two and is tied for the NHL lead with 2 shutouts. We are set to go from Madison Square Garden as Ryan Callahan makes his return to the New York Rangers lineup. We heard from Ryan moments ago, 3 goals over his last 2 games before suffering the broken thumb in a victory down in Washington in mid-October. Callahan will start on the line with Derek Brassard and Brian Boyle up against the Ducks. Top line of Ryan Getzlaf, Dustin Penner, and Corey Perry. Ryan Getzlaf, the Ducks captain, tied for 7th in the league in scoring with 16 points. Ducks coming off a 6-3 victory in Buffalo on Saturday. Ducks with a point in 5 consecutive games. They finish up an 8-game, 15-day road trip tonight against the Rangers, who started with 9 straight on the road, but have played much better, Pierre, since returning to the East Coast.
No question about it. I think they're starting to get more and more comfortable in Alain Vigneault's system, which is really important because it's a tough man-to-man system that takes some time to adjust to.
Ducks in white, Rangers in blue. An early icing call against the New York Rangers, so the face-off will come down to the left of Henrik Lundqvist. There is the first-year head coach of the New York Rangers. Rangers have won 3 straight and 4 of their last 5. Boyle and Getzlaf on the draw. Getzlaf tied up by Boyle along the boards. Moves it around behind the net. Number 5, Lucas Spisha, playing in his first game this season for the Ducks, returning from a lower body injury. Spisha unable to hold the puck in. This is Derek Brassard. Chips it in around Brian Allen. Spisha up the boards, looking for Perry. And now skated ahead by Getzlaf. Penner centers, picked off in front by Boyle. And the Rangers move back out, skating from right to left. And now both teams look to make changes. Rangers send out Derek Stepan, Chris Kreider, and Matt Zuccarello. This is Devontae Smith. Kelly looks to feed the point. Stepan with the hat trick on Saturday night. Pass too far for Zuccarello, and Frederik Andersen will cover. Bruce Boudreau's Ducks with a record of 11-3-1. 23 points. Only the Colorado Avalanche have more points among the 30 NHL teams than these Ducks.
Kenny, I loved our visit with him before the game. You and I had a chance to talk to him. The one thing Bruce kept talking about is how comfortable he is with this team right now. General Manager Bob Murray and Assistant General Manager Dave McNabb have done a fantastic job putting this group together. It's a great example of team building.
And the Ducks are without a number of key players. Goaltender Victor Fast, Teemu Selanne, Saku Koivu,
Jakob Silfverberg.
The list goes on and on.
Yeah.
Sheldon Souray.
Yeah.
Defenseman Sami Vatanen out of the lineup tonight. He's played in each of the first 15 games.
Scored a beautiful goal the other night in Buffalo. Outstanding goal. He's just a great offensive talent. Not as good as former Ranger Reijo Ruotsalainen, but pretty darn close. Pretty darn close. A young man out of Jyväskylä in Finland, which is in the lake regions of middle Finland.
And that goal, Pierre, scored by Vatanen, the first by a Ducks defenseman this season. The Ducks have scored 49 goals, 48 have come from their forwards. Just over 2 minutes gone by, first period. Interception by Getzlaf. Ducks to the high slot. Brian Allen with a wrist shot off the catching glove of Lundqvist. Derek Brassard, dangerous pass up the middle. Kept in by Spisha. Callahan with the block, and then a turnaround shot by Penner, and then Perry puts it home. Rangers unable to clear the zone, and Corey Perry gives the Ducks an early 1-0 lead.
Kenny, this all starts in the neutral zone. You talk about hockey intelligence and awareness. Ryan Getzlaf makes a play with his skates to keep the play alive. And then Corey Perry goes to work along with Getzlaf. But this is just a ton of fun to watch. Ryan Getzlaf's going to make a play with his skate right there. Going to kick it up. Then you go into transition offense. Poise with the puck. You work the Rangers' defensive zone coverage. We talk about man-to-man. Rangers are trying to sort out their men. Eventually the puck's going to go back to the point, and it's going to get to the net, and Corey Perry's going to score. Right there.
Now a save by Anderson on Brandon Maschinter. And then some extracurricular activity to the right of the Anaheim goal.
Kenny, people wonder about Anaheim, and the one thing that Bruce told us that I thought was really impressive, he says, even my slower guys, they play fast because they move the puck quickly, they find dead spots in coverage, and those two guys in particular, Perry and Getzlaf, they're awesome playing for Bruce Boudreau.
They are referred to, Pierre, as the Twins. Penner and Spisa pick up the assist on the Perry goal, his 9th at 2:29. Getzlaf a major factor as well, as you pointed out. So 3 minutes gone by. First period for Madison Square Garden. Each team with 2 shots. Ducks with a 1-0 lead after beating the Rangers 6-0 in Anaheim last month. A game Ryan Callahan, the Rangers captain, referred to, Pierre, as an embarrassment.
Yeah, well, it was. So was the game before that in San Jose. The 9-2 Thomas Hertl goal. Everybody talked about that. They didn't focus on what was important. The Rangers were stinky that night.
One of the 4 goals scored by Hertl that night. Matthew Perreault into the Ranger zone around Zuccarello. And now Zuccarello up the left wing for Chris Kreider. Drops it off for John Moore, and a stick save by Anderson.
Kenny, this is the kind of game I expect. Vigneault likes track meets, and so does Bruce Boudreau. First it starts with Anaheim going, and then the Rangers counterattack. They push Kreider to John Moore. Quick shot on Frederik Andersen. He steers the rebound away from danger. Dustin Penner does a great job on the Anaheim goal, throwing it on net. And we talked about the man-to-man coverage. You don't see any defensemen around Corey Perry. Everybody's lost in coverage for the Rangers there.
Ducks send their top line back on the ice. Perry, Getzlaf, and Penner. Up against Boyle, Brassard, and Callahan. Puck deflects to the Anaheim bench. Brian Boyle taking the faceoffs, Pierre. Brassard is a center as well. In that earlier meeting, Boyle was 16 for 21 on draws, including 5 of 6 against Ryan Getzlaf.
Well, that's what he has to do. Brian understands his role on this team. And the one thing is he can play wing, he can play center, he can block shots, he can kill penalties, and he can really win faceoffs.
He wins another one from Getzlaf. Shot from the right circle by Brassard, turned aside by Anderson. Frederik Andersen, born in Denmark, 24 years of age. His 4th National Hockey League start. He's 3-0. 2 of the 3 wins coming on the road as Getzlaf beats Boyle to the puck. Penner unable to clear out, kept in by Callahan. And now it's Beauchemin with 4.5 gone by. First period. Ducks called for icing.
Well, Kenny, we're just talking about Frederik Andersen from Denmark. Henrik Lundqvist to the left of your screen. He played for Frölunda, a legendary program in Gothenburg. That's exactly where the Dane, Frederik Andersen, played. Played for Frölunda. Some of the better players out of Frölunda that you might know. Erik Karlsson plays for Ottawa. Daniel Alfredsson plays for Detroit. And back in the old days, in the 04-05 word stoppage, they won the Swedish Elite Series Championship. Alfredsson, Axelsson, and Paulson. Sammy Paulson, the former Duck, all played as a line. Watched them play in that series against Färjestad. It was awesome to watch.
Shot by Anton Stralman, turned aside by the stick of Anderson. And who was Anderson's teammate in Frölunda 2 seasons ago, Pierre? Joel Lundqvist.
Yes, the
Henrik's twin brother.
Yes. You're digging deep.
I can add that Henrik is 40 minutes older than Joel, who played in the NHL with the Dallas Stars. Puck deep for the Ranger zone. 5 minutes in, first period. Corey Perry scored on the Ducks' second shot. as Pouliot attempts to dump it in, deflects off the stick of Cam Fowler. Well, Thursday night, NBCSN continues coverage of the MLS Cup playoffs, the deciding match between Portland and Seattle. Don't miss the final leg of this Western Conference semifinal Thursday night at 11 Eastern on NBCSN. Pierre, I was just in Seattle this weekend. They were going crazy over the Sounders. Big match this past Saturday night.
Yeah, that building goes off, doesn't it, for soccer?
Tremendous. Tremendous atmosphere.
Kenny, you were there for the bad wins this weekend too, weren't you?
Bad wins on Saturday. It was nice yesterday as the Rangers have iced the puck, so a bit of a slow start to this first period. Another icing call with 5:24 gone in period one, and the Ducks with the early lead.
Matchup game right now, fourth line against fourth line. One of the guys on the ice, Nick Bonino, a young man out of Hartford, Connecticut, playing at Farmington High School, then at Avon Old Farms, 3 years at BU. He's been a real solid player for Bruce Boudreau this year.
He's centering Patrick Maroon and Kyle Palmieri. Rangers with Brandon Mashifter, Taylor Pyatt, and Derek Dorsett, their fourth line. Bonino with the puck. Palmieri into the Ranger zone on the right wing. Spisa carries in deep, tries to center, blocked off by Delzato. John Moore with the outlet pass for Brandon Mashifter, former San Jose Shark. As both teams make changes, 6 minutes gone by in the first. 1-0 Ducks with the lead. Smith-Pelly with a wrist shot. And a glove save by Lundqvist. 9th of the season for Corey Perry. Just 2.5 minutes in. 1-0 Ducks. Download the NBC Sports Live Extra app to watch the game live on your phone or tablet. Plus, have access to live chats with experts from Pro Hockey Talk. The NBC Sports Live Extra app on NBCSports.com/Live Extra and NHL.com. Kenny Albert, Pierre McGuire, Madison Square Garden, 1-0 Anaheim Ducks over the New York Rangers. Rangers have Stepan Kreider and Zuccarello on the ice. Rangers have iced the puck once again. Derek Stepan with a hat trick Saturday against Carolina, his first 3 goals of the season, and Kreider and Zuccarello, Pierre, both assisted on all 3.
Yeah, no, that line's been tremendous. And here's an example of utilizing an icing to your advantage right now. See what Anaheim does? Perry on the ice, Penner on the ice, Getzlaf on the ice to try to break down the Ranger matchup. Bruce Boudreau really aware of what he's doing.
Mark Stahl flips the puck ahead, and now Kreider skates it out.
Watch the Ranger forwards all change right now. Get the matchup. They want Boyle on the ice. They want Broussard on the ice. They want Callahan on the ice against this line with Girardi and McDonough.
Boyle with the puck. Boyle through the neutral zone. Shoots in. Cowers around behind Anderson. Shots are 4 apiece. Ducks lead 1-0. Now Penner chips it out to center. Gathered in by Dan Girardi. Across to Ryan McDonough.
See how quick Anaheim changed? Once they got the puck out of the zones, they changed to try to break down the Ranger matchup again. So it's going to be a bit of a chess match early on.
We mentioned the Duck scratches. Rangers, of course, still without Rick Nash. Missing his 11th consecutive game. Fourth line center Dominic Moore is out. Missing his 3rd straight. JT Miller, a healthy scratch. With Ryan Callahan returning to the lineup. Ducks able to clear. And now it's Delzato. Over to John Moore. Both teams make changes. Here's Delzato. Nice move. Carl Hagelin. Rangers have not lost since Hagelin returned to the lineup 3 games ago. Zuccarello knocked down. Hagelin in the corner. Met by Matthew Perreault. Hagelin whips it out to John Moore. Wrist shot goes wide, and then Richards from a tough angle. Robbed by Anderson. Puck played center by Spisa. Now it's Cogliano dropping it off. And now the Rangers move it back through center. Kreider lost the puck. Andrew Cogliano shoots in. Anton Strawman back for the Rangers. Leaving it for Mark Stahl. And now Chris Kreider. 8.5 gone by. First period for Madison Square Garden. Strawman looking for Stepan. Tough angle shot off the glove of Anderson. Knocked back behind the net by Kreider. Puck sent around to the far side for Cam Fowler. As the Ducks move it ahead. Cogliano shoots in. Stahl giving chase along with Daniel Winnick. Brad Richards back the other way. Pass is picked off by Beauchemin. Dropping it off for a shot. Score! The Ducks take a 2-0 lead. 2 goals the first. 9 minutes and 9 seconds. Nick Bonino with his 5th of the season.
Kenny, you can't turn the puck over against a team that wants to play fast. Brad Richard turns it over to Francois Beauchemin. Beauchemin with a backhand pass right over to Kyle Palmieri, and Palmieri just whips that right past Henrik Lundqvist. This is bar down by Kyle Palmieri, the former University of Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And Brad Richards knows right away that's on him. And Lundqvist shakes his head. And we're going to have some action here, probably Derek Dorsett against Patrick Maroon. Maroon was a great scorer with the London Knights in junior. But Dorsett knows his role right now, as does Maroon.
Maroon dropped the gloves, Pierre, with Aaron Asham in the first Rangers-Ducks meeting. Asham now in the American Hockey League with the Hartford Wolfpack. 4th of the season for Palmieri, giving the Ducks a 2-0 lead. So the aggregate score, Pierre, now 8-0 in the 2 games these teams have played. October 10th in Anaheim, and first half of the first period here at Madison Square Garden.
I don't think people realize how good Anaheim is. They don't see them a lot on national TV. They're kind of down below Los Angeles in terms of vision, just because Los Angeles won the Cup a couple years ago. But this team is really good. This Anaheim team is outstanding.
We talked about their speed during the open. They've scored 2 goals on 5 shots against Lundqvist. Now Spezza with a drive, and that goes wide to the right of the Ranger goaltender. Puck deflected into the corner. John Moore comes away with it. And now it's skated ahead by Derek Dorsett. Nearly stripped by Bonino. And now a big collision between Dorsett and Spezza.
See the tracking speed, Kenny, right there by Bonino. That's what I'm talking about. These guys are so much quicker than most of the teams in the league.
Callahan shoots in. We've passed the midway point of period 1. Puck deflects into the Ducks bench. 2-0 Anaheim. Perry and then Palmieri.
Start you wanted. How do you get your guys back on track?
Well, we got to start managing the puck. Both goals are the same thing. The first goal, we had a chance to get it through the neutral zone. We don't. Back in our end, turnover in the back of our net. Second goal, same thing. Turnover in neutral zone, ended up in the back of our net. So we got to start managing the puck.
Thank you very much, Alex. Kenny, if you're playing against a real good team that loves to quick counter like Anaheim does, you got to manage the puck, man. You just can't throw it away haphazardly.
So Alain Vigneault's team down 2-0. 10.5 gone here in period 1. Puck flipped into the left of Lundqvist. Dan Girardi is on it for the Rangers. Now Brassard, stick checked away by Penner. Brian Boyle flips it out of the zone. And now it's Penner once again, returning to the Ducks this season. Won a Stanley Cup with the LA Kings 2 years ago. Ryan Getzlaf moves to his right, then shoots. Partially blocked by McDonough and deflects to the netting.
You know, Kenny, you talk about a team playing fast. Watch this regroup by Anaheim. It's tape to tape to attack. It's just phenomenal by the Anaheim Ducks. And this is what you like. Corey Perry gets it over to Ryan Getzlaf. There was an initial pass made from the defenseman to Corey Perry. So it's 3 straight completions that lead to that quality chance from Ryan Getzlaf.
Face off to the left of Lundqvist. Ducks control. And then Smith-Pelly has it knocked off his stick by Kreider. No icing. Anderson lost it behind the net. Zuccarello looks to control. Rangers out shooting the Ducks 7-5. Stall shot blocked by Smith-Pelly. And now carried ahead by Emerson Eaton. Centering pass just out of the reach of Perreault. And now the Rangers come back. 3 Ducks are back as Zuccarello shoots in. Puck worked free by Perreault. And now it's Delzato. 8:15 remaining in period 1. Ducks with a 2-0 lead on the Rangers. Here's Chris Kreider. Zuccarello. Zuccarello battling with Ben Lovejoy, the ex-Pittsburgh Penguin, and now Daniel Winnick will skate it out. Winnick crisscrossing with Cogliano and a glove save by Lundqvist. We go inside the glass, presented by Capital One with Pierre.
Kenny, you see these guys over here, they're must-watch TV because of their style of play. They're just that good and they're that fast. Here's a little example of it. Matthew Perreault, former Washington Capital, goes through the defense. It's not just skating, it's puck moving as well. You can run out of the racetrack, there's always somebody stepping in like Lucas Spiza. Here's another one, stretch pass, tape to tape, and then Getzlaf off to the attack. This team's fast, it's furious, and it's fun to watch.
They won 7 straight games, Pierre, earlier this season. Record of 11-3-1. Perfect at home, 5-0. All 3 regulation losses have come on the road. Ducks finishing up an 8-game road trip here tonight. They lost the first 2, but have picked up a point in 5 straight games and lead this one 2-0. Ducks will head back home following the game tonight, and they will play their next 3 in Anaheim. Puck deflects to the Ranger bench. 7:17 on the clock. First period. Well, back on October 10th, 6-0 Ducks over the Rangers. And it's a 2-0 Ducks lead here tonight. Rangers shut out by Jonas Hiller in that first meeting. He stopped 34 shots. Lundqvist allowing 6 on 37 shots. Kreider backhands in. Lindholm back for the Ducks. Once again, the Rangers have iced it.
Kenny, you talk about a coach that has confidence in his players. He left his 4th line on the ice. Just changed his defense tandem. Had Hampus Lindholm, a 19-year-old, and Francois Beauchemin on the bench to go against the Rangers' top offensive line. That's a man that's got huge confidence. Now they ice the puck, and look what happens. He breaks the matchup down. Perry, Getzlaf, and Penner on the ice with Cam Fowler and Ben Lovejoy. Bruce Boudreau is coaching the heck out of this game right now.
It's nice when you can throw a Perry and a Getzlaf and a Penner right back out. Take advantage of the icing call. Now the Rangers make a change as they clear the puck into the Anaheim zone. Lovejoy across to Fowler. Rangers get Callahan and Brassard back out. Boyle waiting to replace Kreider, who's still on the ice. Girardi moves it up the boards. Kept alive by the Ducks. Off the glass behind Lundqvist. And now Ryan McDonagh ahead for Chris Kreider. 6:20 to go, first period. Shots are 7-5 in favor of the Rangers. Brad Richards had the Rangers' best scoring chance. Frederik Andersen, his 4th NHL start, has stopped all 7 Rangers shots. And now the Ducks will be called for icing. Tuesday on NBCSN, Flyers visit the Hurricanes. Coverage begins with NHL Live at 6:30. Then an hour Wednesday night rivalry matchup. It's the Rangers and the Penguins. Coverage begins at 6:30 Eastern with NHL rivals. Thursday on the NHL Network, Rangers and Avalanche at 7 Eastern. It's actually the Rangers and the Blue Jackets. And then you can always download the app or watch live online at NBCSports.com/live extra. Now our first penalty. Delayed call. It will go against the Ducks. Emerson Eaton will head to the box. Rangers will have the game's first power play. 5:46 remaining in period 1. 2-0 Ducks.
The California native Emerson Edom in a foot race situation with Michael Del Zotto. Watch the stick of Emerson Edom, number 65, gets into the skates of Michael Del Zotto. Penalty called, power play for the Rangers, which right now is 12th in the league. You only need two bad things for Anaheim this season, Kenny. Power play 30th, penalty kill 29th. Unbelievable when you think about it.
And this Ranger power play, Pierre, has scored in 3 consecutive games, 4 for their last 11. Power play presented by Best Buy. Stepan will take the faceoff. He's the Rangers' leading scorer on the power play with 7 points. Stepan, Kreider, and Zuccarello. McDonough and Richards on the point. Shot by Richards, inadvertently blocked by his teammate Zuccarello. And the puck is cleared out off the stick of Daniel Winnick. Rangers with the man advantage, trailing 2-0. Stepan coming off his hat trick on Saturday. Winds it around for Kreider. Back the other way to Richards, covering on the right point. Stepan watched by Winnick and Allen. Ryan McDonough. Work back out for Richards. Minute 15 remaining on this power play. Stepan has his shot blocked, kept alive by Zuccarello. For Richards, fires wide. Now McDonough. Around to Zuccarello. Brad Richards on the right point. Zuccarello for McDonough. Could not control. And now the puck comes out of the zone.
You got to be so careful with Winnick and Cogliano on the ice. They can really pressure up high and frustrate your defenseman.
Stepan down the left wing for Richards. Back to Stepan. 40 seconds remaining on the Ducks penalty. Stepan shoots through a screen and a right pad save. With Kreider setting up shop in front. Now Zuccarello stopped by Anderson. Another shot by Zuccarello. 2 chances. Now Richards slides to his right. Kreider setting up in front. Stepan has his shot blocked. Down to 20 seconds remaining as Perry wins the battle and clears the puck down ice. Rangers now out shooting the Ducks 9-5. Ducks do not have a shot in 7 minutes since their second goal. Puck fired down ice by Lovejoy. Edom out of the box. Rangers had 2 shots that got through to Anderson on the power play. They also blocked a couple of others. Down to 3.5 remaining first period. Big hit by Smith-Pelly on Del Zotto. Puck kept in at the line by Lovejoy. Edom chases down. Shouldered by John Moore. Smith-Pelly keeps it alive with his skate. But now it's Callahan the other way. Shoots it in around Spisa. Lindholm back to play it for the Ducks. Hampus Lindholm gives it away to Derek Dorsett. Spisa up the boards for Lindholm.
Pretty good for 19, isn't he? Kenny, look at that pass.
Sure is.
Confidence problem there for Hampus Lindholm.
Cogliano moves it into the Ranger zone. Stahl back to play it. Kept alive by Cogliano. 2:45 remaining, period 1. 2-0 Ducks. Carl Hagelin with the puck, and he will clear it down into the Anaheim zone. Lindholm beating Dorsett to the puck, and he shoots back in. Only 5 shots for the Ducks, but they've taken advantage, scoring on 2 of the 5 against Henrik Lundqvist. Rangers, Pierre, have not allowed more than 2 goals in any of their last 6 games. Ducks with 2 here in the first period.
The Rangers have really started to come on. You can see them pushing after the Emerson Edom penalty.
Richards into the corner for Benoit Pouliot. Puck cleared ahead by Corey Perry for Dustin Penner. Under 2 minutes remaining in the period. Penner cutting wide on Girardi. Centering pass, knocked out of trouble by McDonough. Now a long shot by Lovejoy, turned aside by Lundqvist. Getzlaf looked to feed the point, but Fowler could not hold in. Rangers make a change. Ducks do the same. Puck sent into the Rangers zone by Patrick Maroon. Lundqvist handles behind the net. Up the left side and out. Gathered in by Allen. A minute 25 to play. First period pass picked off by McDonough. And a glove save on Stepan is made by Frederik Andersen.
Kenny, we talked about the Rangers trying to reel this game in right now after being down 2-0. Here's a power play opportunity for Matt Zuccarello. Watch 36 in blue. He's going to find a dead spot in coverage and put it right out on Frederik Andersen. Andersen fights him off. Good job of being square and taking up space.
Andersen, 24 years of age. He was originally drafted by Carolina in the 7th round in 2010. Did not sign. And then the Ducks chose him in the 3rd round in the 2012 draft.
He went 187th to Carolina. He went 87th to Anaheim. 100 places better.
Not bad.
No, not bad. Good improvement.
He has actually been in this building before. He spends 2 weeks every summer in New York with a friend. And a friend of his friend actually works here at Madison Square Garden. Gave him a tour of the building. Now Callahan looks to him to move on, but Beauchemin stayed right with him. Good defensive play. 40 seconds remaining, first period. Smith-Pelly behind the net to the far side for Edom. Smith-Pelly keeps it away from Del Zotto. 30 seconds. Edom takes a hit in the corner from Boyle. Puck kept in at the line by Beauchemin. For Devante Smith-Pelly. Centering pass, and that shot is blocked by Del Zotto off the stick of Edom. Down to 12 seconds. Del Zotto unable to clear out, knocked down by the glove of Beauchemin. Callahan with 5. Rangers outshoot the Ducks 10-6 over the first 20 minutes. But Anaheim with 2 goals here in period 1. And 10 saves from Frederik Andersen lead the Rangers 2-0. Stay tuned for the Lexus Intermission Report with Liam, Mike, and Keith. You heard about it from Vigneault, costly Rangers turnovers, and Ray Emery's antics in Philadelphia. Corey Perry struck early, his 9th of the season. And then Palmieri. 2-0, Ducks over the Rangers. The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by Lexus and their pursuit of perfection. And by Miller Lite. It's not just a good time, it's Miller time. This Thanksgiving, NBC dishes out an afternoon of hockey. Don't miss an Original Six matchup between the New York Rangers and Boston Bruins. It's the Discover NHL Thanksgiving Showdown. Rangers Bruins, Friday, November 29th on NBC. We get set for the second period. 2-0 Ducks. Pierre.
Well, you see that career record versus Anaheim. That all took place when he was a member of the Vancouver Canucks as a head coach, -1 game when he was with the Rangers earlier this year. But you heard what he said to me, Kenny, in the first intermission, or first interview, I should say, talking about the turnovers. Turnovers have killed the New York Rangers here. And 2 of those goals came off graphic bad turnovers by the Rangers. Got to manage the puck a whole lot better here in the second.
Goal scored by Corey Perry and Kyle Palmieri. Rangers outshot the Ducks 10-6 in the first period. It's the Ducks with a 2-0 lead. An early offside. 8 seconds in. Henrik Lundqvist, who has won his last 2 starts, has allowed 8 goals on 43 shots in 4 periods against the Ducks this season. At the other end, 24-year-old Frederik Andersen, 4th career start. Stopped all 10 shots he faced in the first period. Ducks have their top line on the ice. Perry flanked by Penner and Getzlaf. Rangers with the Boyle unit. Rangers have won 3 straight games. 3-2 win on Long Island. And then back-to-back home victories over Buffalo and Carolina. Rangers have iced the puck. Ducks with a point in 5 straight games, coming off a 6-3 win in Buffalo on Saturday night.
Another example of coaching strategy, though, and icing. Rather than leave your top guys on the ice and play them into the matchup, now bring your grinding guys on and your speed guys against tired guys. So Bruce Boudreau, we talked about in the first period, Kenny, he's coaching this thing hard right now.
Matthew Perreault on the draw. He played for Bruce Boudreau in Washington. Also
And Hershey.
played against the Rangers in a 7-game playoff series for the Caps last year. Did Perreault. In fact, he led Washington in scoring with 4 points in that series. Knocked off the puck. Callahan flips it ahead for Brassard. Around Fowler to Callahan. Ryan Callahan back in the Rangers lineup tonight. Missed the last 7 games, and this is Callahan on the puck. Out to the left point for Mark Stahl. Shot blocked in front. Cam Fowler has it for the Ducks. Lovejoy back around to Fowler. 1 minute gone by, second period. 2-0 Anaheim. Edom carries out. Perreault giving chase with Stralman. Carl Hagelin moves it up the right wing boards for Benoit Pouliot. Pouliot lost the puck to Perreault. Perreault carries in deep. In behind, blocked off by Stralman. Up the boards to Hagelin. His pass broken up at center, and now it's Richards. 3-on-2. Hagelin for Richards. And a terrific defensive play made by Bouchemont. And now the Ducks back the other way. Cogliano, pass on the right wing. Now in front, deflected wide by Winnick. And a save by Lundqvist on Cogliano. Stahl moves it up the left side, and then Hagelin clears down. Icing Rangers.
Kenny, we talk about high-octane hockey. Good defense leads to better offense. Stretch pass off good defense. Cogliano off to the races. And does he make the right decision? He sure does. And what a save by Lundqvist fighting that off of Daniel Winnick. Winnick goes to net hard with his stick on the ice. But that is some kind of hockey from Anaheim led by Andrew Cogliano.
Ducks able to roll 4 lines. 23 points, second in the West. Second in the National Hockey League, points-wise, trailing only the Colorado Avalanche. Avalanche with 24. Winnick looking for Cogliano. Picked off by Pouliot. Hagelin shoots in, and a quick transition by the Ducks. Cogliano down the left wing, has his shot blocked by Stralman, who's slow to get up. Ducks keep it alive, 2.5 gone by, second period. Ducks leading the Rangers 2-0. Puck comes out to the right point for Brian Allen. Cogliano to the net. Saved by Lundqvist. Cogliano on it again. Battling with Stepan. Puck comes out to center. Allen shoots back down. Puck deflected along into the Duck zone by Zuccarello. Stepan was clipped by Allen. Stepan slow to get up. Play continues. Down the right wing. Drop pass for Spiza. Off the Bonino drop pass, and it deflects out of play. And now some pushing and shoving in front.
Mashinter and Maroon. Lineman will get in. Well, that's Brian Allen stepping up on Derek Stepan. That could be interference. Here's Andrew Cogliano off to the races. Stralman gets in the lane to block it. That goes right off the toe. There's not a lot of padding there. And off the stick, and then eventually off the head of Lundqvist. Some kind of transition hockey by the Anaheim Ducks here. We've seen a 3-on-1. We've seen a 4-on-2. We've seen a 3-on-1 again. And Lundqvist is going to come over.
That may have hit Zuccarello here.
Let's see. Stick. Oh, yeah, definitely Zuccarello. Definitely. Good eye, Kenny.
Lundqvist with a stick issue over at the Ranger bench.
That could be some gamesmanship too, Kenny, to slow this down a little bit. We talked about the odd man rushes. Alain Vigneault knew going into this thing they were a fast team, and they're having a tough time containing that Anaheim speed right now because they're not managing the puck very well.
Face off to the left of Lundqvist, Boyle and Getzlaff. And it's controlled by the Ducks. Fowler cuts into the corner, sends it around for Penner. Penner keeps it away from Girardi, hit by Boyle. And Brassard will clear the puck out. Lovejoy shoots back in. Early second period here at Madison Square Garden. Kenny Albert, Pierre McGuire. Ducks lead the Rangers 2-0. Puck sent to the Anaheim line by Callahan. And now it is Lovejoy up the right wing, deflected along by Penner as the Ducks look to make a change. Moshimon keeps it away from Boyle. Another quick transition by the Ducks. Here's Bonino. Stopped by Lundqvist and then knocked out of trouble by Stralman, who's back on the ice. Took that shot in the toe earlier. Moshimon in behind the net, gives it away to Pyatt. Stralman stepping up. Now Pyatt, turnaround shot, misses the net. Puck pinned behind the Anaheim cage, and it's worked free by Taylor Pyatt. Callahan with a wraparound attempt. Moshimon stepped in front, and the Ducks clear. No icing, 4.5 gone here in period 2. More player changes on both sides. Rangers do not have a shot on goal in this period. Ducks with 3 on Henrik Lundqvist. Here's a Ranger opportunity, and it's turned aside by Anderson. Derek Dorsett with the Rangers' first shot of the second period. Nearly 5 minutes in, and now the puck deflects out of play. We go inside the glass with Pierre.
Well, Kenny, you talk about not having a shot. Part of the reason why, not managing the puck very well. Ryan McDonagh turns it over to Ryan Getzlaf. That eventually leads to the first goal of the game by Corey Perry. Here's another turnover. Watch Brad Richards. He's going to get the puck. He's going to come up right here and turn it over. Moshimon is going to take advantage, move it over, and what a shot by Kyle Palmieri.
His 4th of the season. Corey Perry opened the scoring with his 9th. Now Kreider looks to get the puck out in front with Anderson out of position. Zuccarello holds in. Drops it off for Stepan. His shot gets blocked. Getzlaf ahead for Penner. Has Perry on his right. And a good defensive play by Ryan McDonagh. And then Getzlaf shoots back in. Another quick change by Bruce Boudreau. Long pass ahead. Knocked into the Duck zone by Stepan. Anderson whips it up the boards. Knocked down by Derek Stepan. Behind the net for Zuccarello. Now Delzato moving in from the right point. John Moore into the corner. Moshimon up the other way for Cogliano. Ping pong match at the neutral zone. Now it's Winnick off the stick of Cogliano. Puck deflects out of play. Just over 6 minutes gone by here in period 2. Still 2-0 Ducks. Call Star NHL to download NHL Game Center Premium and a free premium upgrade only on Verizon. Enjoy exclusives like free live NBC national games. Never be without hockey. 2-0 lead for the Anaheim Ducks over the New York Rangers here at Madison Square Garden. Ducks with 2 goals in the first period. Perry and Palmieri. Winnick upended by Delzato. There has been only 1 penalty called in the game against Anaheim. Rangers unable to connect on the power play. Now Winnick moves the puck ahead. Nice pass out of the defensive zone. Cogliano carries across. Delzato gives chase along with Ricard Raquel, number 67, just up from the American Hockey League. Richards has it for the Rangers. Delzato backhands along. Lovejoy knocks it the other way. And now Palmieri down the left wing. Born on Long Island. Spent many of his childhood years in New Jersey. Has a goal tonight here at Madison Square Garden. Now the Rangers with a 3-on-2. But an errant pass by Richards, who was looking for Boyle. Callahan with a hit on Lovejoy. Callahan comes away with the puck. Mark Stahl on the left point for Derek Brassard. In behind for Brian Boyle. Out to Stralman. Long wrist shot sails wide to the left of Anderson. Play behind the net by Brassard. for Stahl. He fires wide. Now Strowman on the right point. Brassard for Callahan. Back to Brassard. In front. Strowman to the left point. Stahl fires. And he misses the net. Sustained pressure by the Rangers as the puck deflects through the crease. Callahan behind the net to Brassard. And a save by Anderson. Ducks finally able to clear down. They will be called for icing. So the Ducks must leave the same five on the ice. That's the most sustained pressure, Pierre, that we have seen from the Rangers tonight.
Absolutely, Kenny, and it's because of desire, hustle, good decision-making, and I'm surprised they're not calling a timeout on the Anaheim side of things, but real good foot races won by Ryan Callahan.
Well, now they are.
Good job keeping the play alive by Derek Brassard. I was shocked they weren't going to call a timeout there, and they are. Those guys are out of gas. You talk about a road trip. This is why they need a timeout. And he's telling them, Bruce Boudreau, stop running around. Go in straight line. Stop circling.
Ducks lost the first two games of this trip, but they've picked up 9 of a possible 10 points over the last 5. Remember, the Rangers, Pierre, started the season with a 9-game trip due to the transformation of Madison Square Garden. So the Rangers' 9-game trip and this Ducks 8-game trip, the 2 longest road trips in the NHL this entire season.
And Kenny, guess what? Anaheim goes home tonight after the game. They play Phoenix, Buffalo, Vancouver. Then they're back on the road. Florida, Tampa, Carolina, and Pittsburgh.
Wow.
Thanks for coming. You know, and they're going to get all their hard travel done here early, but man, oh man, that could wreak some havoc on you. They battled through all these injuries so well.
No Teemu Selanne, no Saku Koivu. Silverberg is out. Foster's out.
Sheldon Surrey.
Ducks did get Spezza back tonight, playing in his first game this season. Ducks offside. And for the Rangers, the return of their captain, Ryan Callahan. Rangers trailing the Ducks 2-0. There's a look at the Ducks injury report.
Kenny, you talked about Lucas Spezza. He's on the ice right now, originally drafted by Philadelphia. He was part of a pretty huge trade between Anaheim and Philadelphia. A guy by the name of Pronger went the other way.
Yes, he did. Spezza picked up an assist on the first Anaheim goal. Brassard throwing one across. He was looking for Boyle, and the puck deflects out of play.
Well, if you're a Ranger fan right now, you're happy because your team's starting to push back after being a little bit footloose and fancy-free with the puck in the first period, and here to start the second.
Yeah, this game sort of mirrors the Rangers' season. They started off on the West Coast, winning only one of their first 5. But since returning to the Eastern time zone, they've won 5 of their last 8 games. They played better against Eastern Conference opponents. Big win in Detroit, shutout in Washington, a win on Long Island. Rangers have won 3 in a row, but trail by 2 here tonight. Brassard with the puck, dropping it off, but McDonough could not hold in. Race for the puck. Penner has it. He beat McDonough to the puck. Down the right wing, the late penalty coming up against the Rangers. Or excuse me, the net knocked off its mooring. No penalty, but the net behind Anderson. I saw some action, some commotion to my right, and the officials did not notice until right now.
Kenny, you're not going to see this happen very often in an NHL game when the Rangers are involved. And this is Dustin Penner at his best. He's a big man out of the University of Maine. He just out-muscles Ryan McDonough at the point of attack and creates an unbelievable opportunity for Anaheim again. I mean, when you look at this doesn't happen very often to Ryan McDonough. I know that Penner's got some leverage there, but man, oh man, that's just an example of the speed again of the Anaheim Ducks and the strength.
Just over 9 minutes gone by, second period, 2-0 lead for the Ducks. Play continued here for about 20 seconds with the net off its mooring behind Frederik Andersen. Your thoughts on Anderson's play so far tonight?
Solid.
Makes a save through a screen on Strowman. Puck set ahead for Smith-Pelly. Back to get it is Stahl. Shoots it around. Out of the reach of Hagelin. Moshima across. And Lindholm sends it into the Ranger zone. We hit the midway point of period 2. Rangers offside. Shots are 14-9 Rangers, but they trail the Ducks 2-0.
What's the best asset you have right now? Rolling 4 lines. You seem to be dominating the speed game.
Yeah, I mean, but we're not capitalizing right now. We've had 3 3-on-1s in the second period. And when you don't score, it comes back to bite you a little bit. So I'm hoping we get one to put it to rest.
You've been doing this for a long time. You've had a lot of success at every level. What do you like the most about this team?
They always come to play. You know, they're having fun when they're playing, and they want to win. So it's a good thing all the time.
You got a lot of people cheering for you, Bruce. Way to go.
Thanks, Pierre.
Bruce Boudreau's Ducks leading the New York Rangers 2-0. Chris Kreider knocks the puck into the Anaheim zone, continues along. Comes out to the right point. Del Zotto with a shot, and that gets blocked by Winnick. Regained by Zuccarello. Backhanded along by Del Zotto into the Anaheim zone. Winnick is on it for the Ducks. Knocked to the boards by Stefan. Zuccarello comes in. More than midway through, Pierre. Ducks have only 9 shots. Here's Cogliano with Winnick. Bruce Boudreau just talked about the odd man rushes. Another one there as Lundqvist makes the glove save.
Kenny, this is a message that won't go away when you play against Anaheim. Watch Andrew Cogliano against John Moore. C7 and White. Moore just has it bounce a little bit. Look at Cogliano. There's no resistance at all. That shows you how fast he is. Winnick's quick. He beats his man in the net. He just can't corral the bouncing puck. What a creative play by Cogliano, rolling puck. Look at Zuccarello. He lost his pace to Winnick. I mean, this Anaheim team, if you're a fan of the Ducks, get out there and watch them. They're that good and they're that much fun to watch.
Hard to believe, Pierre. It's the Ducks' 20th anniversary season.
Yeah, I know. I got mad one night there 20 years ago. I was coaching in a game. We had a 3-0 lead there. I'll never forget it. We lost the game, and Ronnie Wilson was their first coach. He was having a barrel of fun with that.
The Ducks' first captain was Troy Loney. Played for you in Pittsburgh.
Yes, he's a good man.
Also played here in New York. Had a brief stint with the Rangers. Bonino has his pass blocked off. Rangers back the other way, trailing 2-0. Richards shoots in. Anderson will hang on to it. Anderson has looked calm in the Anaheim Ducks net tonight. Grew up in Denmark. His best friend, Pierre, Frans Nielsen's brother. Nielsen, of course, plays for the New York Islanders. They are from the same hometown in Denmark, as is another New York Islander, Peter Wiegand.
We used to take the ferry across from Copenhagen over to Malmo in Sweden when I used to go scouting, and then all of a sudden they built a bridge. Now there's a bridge from Denmark to Sweden, Kenny. The ferry ride was a lot more fun, if you know what I mean.
I'm sure. Herning, Denmark is Anderson's hometown. Population 47,000 in central Denmark. It has produced 5 NHL players. Anderson has blanked the Rangers tonight. Boyle's shot blocked in front. Puck carried ahead by Perry. Now Penner. Lindholm giving chase. In behind the net for Penner. Off the stick of Perry. Now Perry with a stuff attempt. It's loose in the crease. Knocked back behind the net. And McDonough plays it now for the Rangers. Brian Boyle through the neutral zone. Deflected along by Brassard. 7:45 remaining, second period. Ducks with 2 first period goals. Lead the Rangers 2-0. Del Zotto ahead for Callahan. Shots now 16-12 in favor of the Rangers. Lovejoy up the right wing. Too far for Edom. It's an icing call against the Ducks.
Talk about pushing the pace. There's also a grinding factor to this team. Corey Perry down low, so good in those situations. Kenny, in the 05 World Junior representing Canada, Corey Perry played on a line with Sidney Crosby and Patrice Bergeron. Guess who played the other wing from Corey Perry? Crosby.
Wow.
That's how good that team was.
Corey Perry, Hart Trophy winner, as NHL Most Valuable Player 3 seasons ago. Scored the first Ducks goal tonight, his 9th of the year in 16 games. Richards moves the puck around. Richards out here with Dorsett and Pyatt, the fourth-line wingers. Pyatt with a long shot, stick saved by Anderson. And the Ducks clear down.
Rangers are pushing back, Kenny. They get one, they could get a couple. They're pushing back hard now.
Now Delzato, nice move. And he misses the net. Big hit in the corner by Dorsett on Fowler. Puck worked free by Daniel Winnick. Shots now 18-12 in favor of the Rangers. Frederik Andersen has stopped all 18. Although Andersen is from Denmark, he played in Frölunda 2 years ago, as we mentioned. And there is something about goaltenders who either grew up in Sweden or played in Sweden. When they come into this building and play against Henrik Lundqvist, we saw it on a number of occasions last year. They get fired up.
Yeah, it was a national treasure. You think about Henrik Lundqvist, the 2006 Olympics in Torino. What a showdown. Turo Niittymaki for Finland against Henrik Lundqvist of Sweden, and it was a tremendous gold medal game. Had the privilege of working that with Doc Emmerich and John Davidson.
Sweden won the game 3-2. Took home the goal. Puck deflects out of place. 6:15 on the clock, second period, here at Madison Square Garden.
Bob Woods changes the defense for Anaheim. Back come Cam Fowler and Ben Lovejoy. The big part about Ben Lovejoy's game, a kid that went to Deerfield Academy, started at Boston College, finished at Dartmouth, how strong he is in these kinds of situations. He's really strong on board play, and you just got a good example of that.
You mentioned Bob Woods, another Ducks assistant coach, Scott Niedermayer, will be inducted into the Hockey Hall of Fame this weekend. Congratulations to Scott and all of the other inductees. A Stahl shot deflects wide. And we're talking about Chris Chelios, Brendan Shanahan, Geraldine Haney, and the late Fred Shero.
Long overdue on Mr. Shero, by the way.
Absolutely. 2-0 Ducks. Esa Tikkanen won a Stanley Cup with the Rangers back in '94.
Well, he's not the most famous Finnish player that's ever played in the NHL. This man is Teemu Selanne. The other night against Luke Schenn and the Philadelphia Flyers, Teemu Selanne lost 6 teeth and took 40 stitches from that Aaron stick. And that man is a cultural legend, not just a sporting legend, a cultural legend in his home country of Finland, and a spectacular human being. One of the greatest ambassadors this sport's ever known.
Absolutely. Also a legend in Winnipeg, where he began his NHL career, scored 76 goals as a rookie. And the folks in Winnipeg had the chance to watch Teemu Selanne play in their city once again a couple of weeks back with the Ducks. We'll lead this game 2-0. 5:15 remaining, second period. McDonough moves it into the Anaheim zone. Blocker to side by Anderson. And the puck deflects over the glass. Shots down 19-12. Rangers, and Anderson has stopped everything that has been thrown his way.
You know, Kenny, as we get closer to Sochi, there's scouts watching on TV for all the respective countries. There are people in the buildings watching. You know, it's just amazing. You were talking about all the scouts that are here tonight just watching this game.
Hall of Famer Mark Howe on hand. Craig McTavish, general manager of the Edmonton Oilers, sitting with Mark Messier up in the press box.
Is he credentialed as an Edmonton Oiler employee, Kenny?
He is.
There you go.
6-time Stanley Cup champion, 5 with the Oilers, 1 with the Rangers. Here's Brad Richards, who won a cup with Tampa Bay back in 2004. Pass hopped over the stick of Carl Hagelin.
And a Conn Smythe.
Yes, he did.
That's a pretty good daily double.
Richards off to a very good start. with the Rangers this season.
Credit Ben Prentice, trainer out of Darien, Connecticut, who's done a lot of real good work with NHLers, in particular Brad Richards.
As well as Richards' former teammate in Tampa Bay, Marty St. Louis.
Yeah, Chris Kreider, another one.
Richards tied for the team lead in scoring, 10 points, along with Derek Stepan. Under 4 minutes to play here in period 2. Rangers with 10 shots in the second period. Ducks have 6. Perry and Palmieri, the goal scorers for Anaheim. Back in the first period, Perry at 2:29, Palmieri at 9:09, beating Henrik Lundqvist. Ducks scoring 2 goals on their first 5 shots tonight. Here's Stepan, flips into the corner for Kreider. Lines it around. John Moore just off the bench, holds in. Now it's Lovejoy for the Ducks. Knocked off the puck. Moore, long shot, blocked in front. Skated ahead by Perreault. Both teams look to make changes. 3 minutes to play here in period 2. Delzato for Boyle, deflects the puck along. Boyle sends it around for Dorsett. Net by Penner. Dorsett cuts behind the net, tries to come in front. Backhand shot. And a save by Anderson. Taylor Pyatt had his helmet knocked off there, Pierre.
Kenny, you like this if you're a Ranger fan, and you can see a little bit of fatigue here in the second period if you're a Ducks fan. One-on-one battles, Dorsett strong in the puck. You can see Boyle, a little pick play on Brian Allen. Frederik Andersen has to fight off that backhand. Didn't have a lot of steam on it, but it was really nifty and creative and almost snuck by him on the short side.
It was close. Getzlaf and Boyle to the right of Anderson. Boyle wins yet another draw. Here's McDonough, cuts around Perry. Blockered out by Anderson. Lucas Misa on the puck for the Ducks. Flips to center, knocked down by Perry. Getzlaf and Girardi. McDonough gives it right back to Ryan Getzlaf. Up the boards on the right wing for Dorsett. We approach 2 minutes remaining, second period. Ducks with a 2-0 lead. McDonough cuts away from Bonino. Deflected along, but held it at the line. Now Bonino behind the Ranger net. Puck set up the right wing for Dorsett. The speedy Carl Hagelin, first one in. Avoids a check attempt by Beauchemin. Centers, oh, big save on Richards again by Anderson. Now Delzato shoots, blocked in front. Ducks clear. Richards has been robbed twice, once in the first period, and now late in the second by Frederik Andersen.
Speed is a factor for Anaheim, and speed's a factor right here for the Rangers, with Carl Hagelin doing a good job winning a race so that there is no icing. Strong on the puck against Francois Beauchemin right out front. And Anderson comes up with a huge save, a one-timer opportunity for Brad Richards. Great save by Anderson.
Now Callahan comes out from behind the net. Left hand stop by Anderson. Delzato shoots. He scores!
Kenny, you could feel it, you could sense it. The Rangers are starting to push back. Anderson was under more duress. Fatigue's clearly kicking in for the road weary Anaheim Ducks. The Rangers are starting to sense some urgency. They're smelling some blood. Wraparound chance for Callahan. Pile driving towards the net. You see Hagelin clear out, and that opens up the seam for Delzato to snap and fire the sprawled out Anderson. That's the kind of effort you have to have if you're going to get back in this game if you're the Rangers. The fans are in it, the players are in it. Now we got a game.
The Rangers finally solve Anderson on their 25th shot. First goal of the season for Michael Delzato, cutting the Ducks lead in half. A minute 15 to play, second period. Winnick met by Stralman. Stahl winds it around. Zuccarello coming together with Cogliano. And now Stepan clears the zone. Kreider cutting wide on Lovejoy. And Lovejoy takes Chris Kreider to the board. Zuccarello on the puck. Deflects to the netting. 55 seconds on the clock. Period 2.
Grinding matters, getting bodies to the net. Callahan on the wraparound opportunity. We saw Dorsett with one not long before that. Hagelin fights through, and there's a juicy rebound for Del Zotto. The rolling puck, he just sticks it by the left post.
Del Zotto from Hagelin and Callahan, 18:36 the time. Shots now 25-12 Rangers. They have 15 here in the second period. Now Richards. Backhand shot winds up in the catching glove of Anderson.
Well, Anaheim's going to need all 4 lines. They were playing a 4-line game throughout most of this game. Now they're going to need it. You can see it. They've hit the proverbial wall. Guys are hunched over at face-off situations. Goalies come up water. You see Getzlaf right there. Penner's looking for some air. So's Corey Perry. Tired group, Kenny.
It's their 23rd consecutive period on the road. 1 to go. Hagelin centers. Winds up rolling deep into the Ranger zone with 30 seconds. Ducks concluding an 8-game road trip. They will fly back west tonight. They've gone 4-2-1. Lead this game 2-1. 15 seconds remaining, second period. As Perry is knocked by McDonough over the boards and halfway into the Ranger bench.
That'll be an Olympic showdown, too.
And now he does it again.
Yeah.
As the second period comes to an end, and now 3 Ducks come skating over to get McDonough off Corey Perry.
Vigneault's trying to get his players out of there. He's being a responsible coach right now. He's trying to pull his guys back.
So we saw McDonough with that first hit on Perry, and then as the time wound down, knocked him back over the boards into the New York Ranger bench.
Well, matchups are important. One of the matchups for the Rangers, get your top defensive pair of McDonough and Girardi out against Getzlaf, Penner, and Perry. Perry went in once. He's going to go in again. And it's going to be the same guy that's going to put him over the turnbuckle.
So the Rangers with a late goal and then some late fireworks as they pull to within 1. Coming up on the Discover Intermission Report, Liam, Mike, and Keith. Ducks have dominated at 5-on-5 this season, and the Blackhawks visited the White House earlier today. 40 minutes in the books here at Madison Square Garden. It's the Ducks leading the Rangers 2-1. The NHL on NBCSN is brought to you by Disney's Frozen, in theaters in 3D November 27th. By Ford, only Ford gives you EcoBoost fuel economy and a whole lot more. And by Verizon, the official wireless partner of the NHL. We get set for the third period here at Madison Square Garden. Ducks with a 2-1 lead. Our sprint storyline. Corey Perry opened the scoring, his 9th of the season. Then Kyle Palmieri gave the Ducks a 2-0 lead on Anaheim's 5th shot of the game. Late second period, off the scramble in front, it is Michael Del Zotto. His first of the year from Hagelin and Callahan. There's Del Zotto on the Ranger bench. Rangers out shooting the Ducks 25-12.
Kenny, they know on that bench, they've got to push the pace. You heard Mike, Liam, and Keith talk about in the second intermission. There's a fatigue factor setting in on Anaheim. You could see it at the tail end of the second period. Now you got to grind. The big jumbo's got to get to work. Dorsett, Boyle, Pyatt starting a different line than what we saw start the game. Grinding guys that have some speed right now for the Rangers to get in deep on the Anaheim defense.
Here, the Rangers have 6 wins in 2 of the 6, both on the road in Detroit and on Long Island. They trailed 2-1 heading into the third period. Won both games. Getzlaf carries in deep. Behind the net, it's Boyle. looks to cut away from Perry. Getzlaf on the recovery. Now Pyatt intercepts. And Pyatt clears the zone.
Aggressive coaching by Alain Vigneault. You sense the other guys are tired. Their star players lean on him. That's why he made the line changes.
Anderson to our left. Lundqvist to our right. Penner throws one towards the net. Sticked aside by Lundqvist. Zuccarello bottled up. Penner turns and shoots. Another save by Lundqvist.
Too long a shift for Boyle and Pyatt. They got to get off the ice.
They've been out for nearly a minute. 2 early shots for the Ducks. Raquel with a backhand shot. Another save by Lundqvist. Boyle now looked ahead for the bench, but the puck stayed in the zone. He's still out on the ice, as is Pyatt. Here's Fowler. Now Lovejoy moving it from the right point. Shot gets blocked by McDonough. And the Rangers finally able to force the puck out. Boyle to the bench. Now Pyatt to the bench.
McDonough can't get off. Girardi did, but that's a real long shift for McDonough. Now he's going to scramble off.
On the ice for the first 90 seconds of period 3. Ducks with 3 early shots in the period. As Zuccarello clears it ahead. Delzato, who has the Ranger goal. Tough angle shot, misses the net. Kept in the zone by John Moore. Beauchemin knocks it up the boards. And down into the Ranger zone it rolls. 2 minutes in, third period. Kenny Albert, Pierre Maguire from Madison Square Garden. Ducks 2, Rangers 1. Ducks beat the Rangers 6-0 in Anaheim back on October 10th. Nick Bonino. Bonino upended by Anton Strawman.
Nice job by Strawman. Don't play the puck, play the man. Bonino thought he had him beat, but he didn't.
Now Palmieri up the right wing. Backhanded along by Brian Allen. Bonino works it free. Whips it out to Allen on the right point, and his shot gets blocked. It broke the stick of Carl Hagelin. Three minutes gone by, third period. Strawman for the Rangers. Up and out. Ducks nearly caught with too many men. Here's Brad Richards. Richards leads the Rangers with 4 shots. Perry has 4 for the Ducks. Race for the puck. And a save by Lundqvist on Penner. Now Perry looking for Getzlaf in front. Kept it at the line by Lovejoy. McDonough and Perry. Remember, it was McDonough who took Perry twice into the Ranger bench late in the second period. Callahan chips it along. Ryan Callahan, the Ranger captain, returning after missing the last 7 games, had an assist on the Delzato goal. Rangers looking for their first shot on goal of the period. Broussard has his shot blocked by Beauchemin. Turnaround shot by Dorsett. Puck deflects to the glass. Winnick comes over for the Ducks. Boyle in for the Rangers. Broussard out to John Moore. And now the Ducks clear the zone. This is Winnick. Crisscrossing with Cogliano. Lundqvist waiting for it. Cogliano sends out to the point. Spisa moving to his right. Shoots wide. Cogliano, cross-ice pass, deflects off Broussard. Raquel taken to the boards by John Moore. Rangers clear down.
Red Berenson must be watching Andrew Cogliano, the missile for the Anaheim Ducks, and saying, man, he was a pleasure to watch at Yost Arena in Ann Arbor. Corey Perry wants to play fast to Dustin Penner. That's real fast, Dustin Penner. He's going against McDonough and Girardi, especially McDonough. He wins that foot race. Good hustle by McDonough to even catch up. But there's another example of how Anaheim tries to play fast, Kenny, and a real heads-up play by Corey Perry.
You think Red Berenson's keeping an eye on Carl Hagelin as well?
I would say. Boy, they've done a nice job at Michigan for a long time producing players.
Red Berenson, a former New York Ranger. Boyle replaces Broussard. in the face-off circle. Boyle and Bonino. Rangers control. Early third period. 2-1 Ducks. Lundqvist leaves for Delzato. Rangers 3 consecutive wins. Looking to even their record at 500. Rangers 6-7. Ducks 11-3-1. Zuccarello in on the forecheck. Takes the puck away from Lovejoy. Staal with a shot. And that's blocked in front by the stick of Fowler. Fowler ahead now to Palmieri. In on the right wing, cutting wide. Palmieri with the second Anaheim goal. Good play by Staal. Up the left wing for Chris Kreider. Kreider 6 points in 6 games since his recall from the Hartford Wolfpack. Gives the puck away. Here's Perry. Knocked off his stick and Staal clears to center. Now Perry cuts behind the net. Knocked away by Staal. Getzlaf keeps it alive for Perry. Getzlaf once again. Off the side of the net. Now it's Penner, tied up by Kreider. Perry over to help out. Getzlaf. Into the corner for Penner. Strawman steps in front of Perry. Ducks keep it alive. Penner in the high slot, leaving for Allen. Ryan Allen misses the net wide to the left of Lundqvist. Stepan on it for the Rangers. And he finally clears the zone. Back comes Raquel on a stick save by Lundqvist. Raquel and McDonough. Daniel Winnick puts in behind. McDonough steps in front of Cogliano. And then Cogliano takes the puck away. Looks to get it out in front. Shot from the left circle gets blocked. Now Cogliano with a chance. And a glove save by Lundqvist. Good work down low by the Ducks.
Back-to-back shifts.
Shot by Raquel, turned aside by Lundqvist. Now Winnick for Raquel in the far corner. Knocked away from him by Richards. Stralman clears it ahead for Callahan, who moves it into the Duck zone. Ducks have iced the puck. 12:49 on the clock. Third period here at Madison Square Garden. Face-off coming up in the Anaheim zone.
Kenny, you want to break down some fatigue? Start putting some duress on their defense. And for Anaheim, it's a second line, it's a first line, it's equal opportunity. You just get the puck below the icing line, you start to grind. Andrew Cogliano's had a tremendous night, and Henrik Lundqvist fights that off with his left shoulder. What a game Cogliano's played. Devontae Smith-Pelly has to come off. Cogliano has to come back on because of the icing.
474 consecutive games for Cogliano. That's the third longest active streak, trailing only Dave Bowister and Henrik Sedin.
So it begs the question, what were the Edmonton Oilers thinking when they traded him for a draft pick? Character guy, 20-plus goals when he played there each season.
Well, you can ask a couple of guys up here in the press box.
I figured you'd go ask him for me.
Half the Oilers front office here in the Garden tonight.
World Junior Gold Medal winner. I mean, Andrew Cogliano is a special kid. Outstanding talent, character person, wanted to stay in Edmonton. Couldn't be happier with his lot in life now, though, playing in Anaheim with this great team.
Face off in the Ranger zone to the left of Henrik Lundqvist. Broussard and Perreault, Rangers control. Hagelin flips to center. Knocked out and sent back in by Ben Lovejoy. Ducks scored 2 in the first. Rangers with a late goal in the second period. And this is Michael Delzato, who has the Ranger goal. Lines it around and out. Under 12 minutes remaining in the third.
I see Ben Lovejoy, and I think about Bobby Gaudette, the coach at Dartmouth. And when Bobby Gaudette was at Dartmouth with Ben Lovejoy, he had Tanner Glass of the Pittsburgh Penguins, David Jones, who now plays in Calgary, and Ben Lovejoy. That's 3 pretty good guys coming out of the Ivy League.
Rangers with an Ivy Leaguer of their own, and Dominic Moore, who's out of the lineup tonight, played at Harvard. Now a shot off the goalpost. Dustin Penner hit the left goal post behind Lundqvist. Getzlaf works the center off the skate of John Moore. Derek Dorsett with the puck. Boyle giving chase with Spiza. Allen up the left wing, deflected along by Maroon for Getzlaf, and he clears. Down to 11 minutes remaining, third period. Ducks 2, Rangers 1. There's been only one penalty called in the game on Emerson Eda back in the first period.
And that was earned. That was a trip on Delzato.
Rangers unable to capitalize on that power play. Here's Kreider down the left wing. Rink wide pass. Zuccarello fanned on it. Held in by Stralman. Kreider chasing with Allen. Kreider out to the right point. Stralman. Left side, McDonough. Shot blocked in front. Bouncing puck. It's kept away from Kreider. And deflects. Out of play. How close do the Ducks come to extending their lead? Penner off the post. Still 2-1. Watch live out-of-market games with NHL Game Center Live. One subscription lets you watch on your computer, smartphone, tablet, and connected devices. Visit NHL.com/GCL. Dustin Penner hit the post moments ago. Henrik Lundqvist and the Rangers trailing Frederick Anderson and the Ducks 2-1. Shots here in the second period. Ducks have 7, Pierre. Rangers only 1.
Well, those two grinding shifts, one by the top line with Penner, Getzlaf, and Perry, that was really well done by Anaheim.
We hit the midway point of period 3. Mark Stahl with the puck for the Rangers.
Good job by Stahl warding off the speedy Cogliano there.
And Richards had it knocked off his stick. Winnick shoots in. Ducks are offside. We go inside the glass with Pierre.
Thanks a lot, Kenny. The importance of grinding, especially on a long road trip. 15 days, 8 games. This is the 8th game, the 15th day. These are the superstars. This is Penner. This is Perry. This is Getzlaf. The grinding guys? No, not really. They're superstars, too. You see their skill. They want the puck. They want to win races. Ryan Getzlaf just told me before that this has been a long road trip, but they want to finish it off strong. They're a proud group, and you can see even the role players are buying in, like Cogliano.
Well, if the Ducks win this game, they would go to 25 points, which would lead the National Hockey League. Colorado with 24. Ducks at 11, 3, and 1. They will return home to play 3 against Phoenix, Buffalo, and Vancouver. Rangers home for the Pittsburgh Penguins here on Wednesday, right here on the NBC Sports Network.
We're talking about rivalry. Those two teams don't get along at all.
Nope. Their first matchup this season. Down to 9 minutes remaining. Some action in front of you, Pierre, with Boyle and Spiza.
That's okay. Push back, Kenny.
You push Boyle back?
Yeah, kind of.
Zuccarello in on the left wing. Puck held in at the line by Delzato. Nice move around Perro. And then his shot is blocked. Zuccarello in deep for Stepan. Stahl moving it from the left point. Derek Stepan battling with Brian Allen. Emerson Edom comes over. Puck in front. Spiza couldn't clear, and Anderson scoops it up. 8:19 remaining in the third.
Welcome to magnificent Madison Square Garden. Derek Stepan had a hat trick this weekend against Carolina. There's a little reason why you get some attention when you're a star. Brian Allen, hard on Derek Stepan. And then Kyle Palmieri, hard on Derek Stepan. When you're a star player in this league, Kenny, they circle your name in the dressing room before the game, and they say, lean on that guy. And that's what Anaheim's doing to Derek Stepan.
He led the Rangers in scoring last year. Tied for the team lead this season with Brad Richards. You mentioned his hat trick on Saturday, second of his career. Do you remember his first?
I do not.
His first NHL game in Buffalo. Stepan scored 3. Second career hat trick Saturday night against Carolina as the Ducks have iced the puck. 7:54 remaining.
Saw him play at Shattuck St. Mary. Saw him play at Wisconsin. I saw him captain a World Junior USA team in Saskatoon that had Cam Fowler and Chris Kreider on it with a gold medal winning goal from John Carlson of the Washington Capitals. So I've seen him a lot, Kenny. Didn't see him get that hat trick that night.
How about that? A hat trick in your first NHL game. And he's a second-generation Ranger draft pick. Chance in front. Pouliot coming out from behind the net. Stepan's father, Brad, drafted by the Rangers back in the mid-'80s, played in their minor league system. Pouliot keeps it alive. 7.5 to play. Long shot by Pouliot gets blocked, and then John Moore did not get good wood on it. Moore chasing down. Leaving in the corner for Brassard. Now Dorsett. Dorsett, Moore, Brassard, all on the ice, acquired in the trade for Marian Gaborik last April from Columbus.
And a different line again for Alain Vigneault.
Trying to get something going in the offensive zone. Changing his lines throughout these last two periods. Under 7 minutes remaining. 2-1 lead for the Ducks. Finishing out their 8-game road swing. Gets left. In front. Perry knocked into Lundqvist. And the Rangers come away with the puck. Zuccarello shoots in. Faceoff will come back into the Ranger end.
Fresh legs off the bench for Anaheim. The only tired guy was Daniel Winnick. Pucks launched on goal by Ryan Getzlaf, and there's Corey Perry jamming the front of the net. He's so good at that. Corey Perry's big, 6'3". He's strong at about 212 pounds. He doesn't skate real fast, but man, does he process a game quick. He and Dan Girardi were teammates with the London Knights in 2005, Kenny. They won a Memorial Cup together, the major junior championship of North America.
Here's Kreider, looks to get his step, moves to the net, and then Zuccarello had a whack at it. Ducks move the puck down, and icing is the call, so the faceoff will come back into the Anaheim zone.
That was overwhelming speed from Chris Kreider. That's a thing of beauty. You see a man that size move back quickly, driving wide around the Anaheim defense. No resistance at all there, really, from Boschman before it's too late. And Anderson gets real aggressive. There's a last-second resistance with the stick. But what a play by Anderson to poke check that away from Kreider.
McDonough with the puck. His shot gets blocked by the stick of Perry. Hagelin into the corner. Callahan tied up. Richards with the puck. Out to Girardi. Callahan for McDonough. McDonough again shoots, and a chest save by Anderson. Under 6 minutes to play. Girardi slides it across. Callahan behind the net for Richards. Blocked off by Getzlaf. And the Ducks able to clear. Good play behind the net by Ryan Getzlaf. Sounds are now 30-20 in favor of the Rangers. But the Ducks lead the game 2-1. Pass picked off by Smith Kelly. Edom had it hopped over his stick. Pouliot clears to center. Here's Brassard in across the Ducks line. For Pouliot to the net. And a penalty will be assessed as Anderson makes the save on Benoit Pouliot. Ranger power play. When we return, big save by Anderson. Well, Pierre, you talked about it, the Ranger-Penguin rivalry. And they will meet for the first time this season on Wednesday night. Rangers on a power play. Allen in the box for hooking. Power play presented by Ford. Ducks lead 2-1. As we approach 5 minutes remaining, third period, here at Madison Square Garden. Brad Richards carries up ice. Drops it off to McDonough. And now it's Matt Zuccarello. Bottled up by Cogliano. Here's Richards to McDonough. Back for Richards. And Richards holds in momentarily, then it's cleared out by Cogliano.
What a game he's had, huh, Kenny?
Sure has.
Cogliano, wow, what a game.
Stepan Richards fires on a glove save. Talk about having a game. How about Frederik Andersen?
Well, the Rangers are sensing some urgency. They know they have the 29th rated penalty kill on their heels fatigue-wise. Here's Chris Kreider, though, leads to an opportunity. Here's Ryan McDonagh with an unbelievable opportunity. Andersen fights it out. And how about this one? Pouliot, that's what drew the penalty from Brian Allen. So a lot of action around Freddie Andersen.
Rangers on the power play. This is John Moore across for Delzato. Shot block. Callahan stopped by Andersen. And the puck is cleared out of the zone.
All the way down.
Yep.
High stick
High
in
stick.
the offensive zone on the power play. Kenny, you can feel the urgency from the guys in the blue shirts. Michael Delzato rips that on goal. Callahan jamming the net. Opportunities galore, but Freddie Andersen just fighting them off.
He's been great. 32 saves for Andersen in his 4th National Hockey League start. Under a minute remaining on this Rangers power play. They trail the game 2-1. Brassard hesitated. Rangers offside.
Kenny, I was here opening night when we were here. I was with Doc Emmerich and Eddie Olchuk for Montreal versus New York, and I have to tell you, the ice was in tough shape. Much better tonight. They deserve a lot of credit. The ice has really been remade here in a better way over the last 7 to 10 days.
There's a brand new system underneath the ice surface here at Madison Square Garden, and it's gotten rave reviews over the last week. Richards for Stepan. He fans on it. Richards again. Shot is blocked by the stick of guess who, Pierre? Andrew Cogliano.
Yeah, and I can't say enough. I know that his father Carmen's watching this game in Toronto tonight. Andrew Cogliano. If you're Cogliano and you're watching your son play, he's just put in a whole mountain of work tonight, and there he is, getting in the lane, number 7 in white. Character personified from that young man.
Half minute remaining on the New York Rangers power play. Puck carried out by Nick Bonino. Softly dumps it into the Rangers' end. Shots are 33-20 in favor of the Rangers. Ducks with 2 first-period goals. Lead 2-1. Kreider sent in deep. Fowler back on it for the Ducks. And now a slash. Rangers will be 2 men up for 9 seconds. And then we'll continue on the power play.
Ryan Getzlaf's incredulous. He cannot believe he's being called for a slash. He's over at the bench. He's going, they didn't just call me. He's standing right in front of me. He just says, hey, there's no way they called me on that. Corey Perry's over here taking a look. Oh, my goodness gracious me. I have to tell you, that is one of the lamest slash calls I've seen.
Getzlaf can't believe it. Rangers use their timeout. Getzlaf in for slashing Stepan at 16:34.
Oh. Well, okay.
So a huge opportunity for the New York Rangers. Flyers and Hurricanes tomorrow. Coverage begins with NHL Live at 6:30. Then our Wednesday night rivalry matchup. Penguins and Rangers. And then Rangers and Columbus Blue Jackets on Thursday. Bruce Boudreau's Ducks with a 2-1 lead. Rangers with a 5-on-3 for 9 seconds. Face off to the left of Frederik Andersen. Bonino wins it back. Bonino hustles over, hit by Stepan. Richards swings it out to McDonagh. McDonagh out for Richards, and the shot is blocked, and here's Allen out of the box. Brian Allen, a defenseman leading the rush. So now it's a 5-on-4 for the Rangers for 1:40. Rangers' 3rd power play. Ducks have not had one. Zuccarello out to McDonagh. Now Richards. Stepan bottled up, gets it out to Richards, and it's Cogliano again.
Man.
Down to 1:15 remaining on the Getzlaf slash. Richards winds it around for Zuccarello. Delzato keeps it alive. Grossman. Soft pass ahead for Perry, and he clears down. Down to a minute on this Rangers power play. 2:20 to play, third period. Delzato across the line, but Pouliot on the left wing is offside.
Kenny, there's effort, and then there's championship effort. Nick Bonino won the initial draw in the 5-on-3. Then he gets in the lane against Brad Richards. That's championship effort. The first one, winning the faceoff, was effort. The second one was championship effort, and that's how you win games on the road. And Nick Bonino, the young man out of Avon Old Farms and Boston University, a lot of people in Hartford, Connecticut watching that saying, we knew you could make it.
Avon Old Farms, alma mater of
Brian Leach.
Former Ranger great Brian Leach.
Yes, John Gardner, a living legend, still coaching there.
And Kings goaltender Jonathan Quick as well. Here's Pouliot. Rangers continue on the power play. Now they pull Lundqvist. 6 skaters on 4 for the Rangers. Their net is empty. And now a penalty will be assessed to the Rangers. So this will negate their power play. It is a high stick on Pouliot.
Benoit Pouliot comes right into Cam Fowler. He gets a stick up near the face, and that's a high stick.
So Lundqvist heads back out. Teams will skate 4 aside for 26 seconds. And then the Ducks will finally go on the power play. Grossman with a drive right on the save by Lundqvist. How about the comments this morning, Pierre, by the Rangers head coach, Alain Vigneault? He brought up the fact that with the Ducks leading the Rangers 6-0 in that first meeting, Bruce Boudreau sent out his first unit on a power play late in the game, and Boudreau countered by saying, have you seen our power play? Those guys need work.
They're 30th in the league.
They're 4 for 58. Now, this was early in the season, of course. But Vigneault brought that up at his press conference after the morning skate earlier today.
And get your team going.
Here's Cogliano down the left wing. Stick aside by Lundqvist. Out of the box, Getzlaf. So now it's a Ducks power play. They lead the Rangers 2-1. Ducks play keep away. Here's Perry with 1:15 remaining. Getzlaf lines it around. Puck comes to the right point. Cam Fowler across for a shot. Oh, it hits Lundqvist up high.
Oh, did it ever? Oh boy, he's shaking it off now. And now he's coming off the ice. He tried to.
Ducks move the puck down into the Rangers zone.
Too many men on the ice. The blue team had too many men on the ice. So what do we have here?
That would be the Rangers. Lundqvist started to head off towards the bench, but never made it the entire distance.
Don't try this at home. Ryan Getzlaf tees that up, and he gets Lundqvist right in the noggin.
We have seen Lundqvist make a number of saves through the years with his mask, but I'm not sure he meant it that time. So with 49.3 seconds remaining, the Rangers whistled for too many men. So it is now a 5-on-3 power play for the Ducks. Face off to the right of Lundqvist. Ducks control with a 1-goal lead. Lovejoy out to Fowler, down to 40 seconds. Perry across. Getzlaf over the stick of Perry. 25 seconds remaining. Opportunity in front, but Penner was tied up by McDonough. Now it's Perry. Time running out on the Rangers. Puck play by Boyle with 12 seconds. Sends it up the left side. Too far for McDonough. Anderson clears it ahead for Penner. So the Anaheim Ducks will conclude this 8-game road trip with a 2-1 victory over the New York Rangers, whose win streak comes to an end at 3. There's Corey Perry, who opened the scoring. Frederik Andersen stops 32 of 33 Rangers shots. He is now 4-0 on the season, 4-0 in his National Hockey League career. So the Ducks now with the most points in the National Hockey League, 25 points over their first 16 games. For Pierre McGuire, Kenny Albert saying so long. Ducks win it 2-1.